Hey friends, it's akidearest. So, big announcement, really important. I have nails on one hand, so I would say ignore that, but now I've brought attention to it, so yeah, I'm gonna bother you with that throughout this video. But no, if you have been around this channel for a bit, you know that I have been talking a lot about the dark side of Japanese internet, and so today is no different. So I'm going to be reacting and kind of going over some cursed images with dark backgrounds, and I'm not talking about any like creepypasta or paranoia stuff. I'm talking for the most part, the real thing. And if they're not the real thing, I like to kind of put some background to it. When I've done this in the past of reacting to cursed images, there's been a couple of people in there saying that, Aki, look, this is like nothing compared to what's out there. You have no idea what dark web really is. I know, okay? I know what the bottom of the iceberg really looks like, but do you really think I can make a YouTube video of it? The only website that I'm even going to be able to get away with me reacting to content at the bottom of the iceberg is if I upload that reaction video to the bottom of the iceberg, so there's no point in that. Anyways, I just wanted to get that out of the way. So yeah, cursed images from the Japanese side of the internet. They could be from 2chan, they're probably from Japanese Twitter, or just publicly available from the news, whichever. But I hope you guys enjoy these cursed images, so let's go right to it. Okay, so the first one, Jesus Christ. Oh my fucking god. Okay, so let's just soak this photo in for a sec before I get into it. Actually, you know what? Just for yours a sec, let's just translate to English. It'll just be easier for me. This is Ronald McDonald as a spider. Why am I even explaining this image? Look, okay, let's just go down it, all right? I'm not gonna give you guys any context yet. Let's just go through these images. Oh no. Look, I hated Ronald McDonald as a kid. This Ronald McDonald right here exudes how I saw Ronald McDonald as a kid. And my very first birthday was at McDonald's, so thanks mom and dad. These guys look like they are not loving it. Okay, let's go back to the top. Okay, so this is all AI. AI's been a really trending thing for the past couple of years. It says here that Ronald McDonald effectively retired in 2016. And basically this urban legend came out that because he was retired in 2016, Ronald McDonald has since held a grudge against the company. And therefore, rumors were that he fused with cockroaches and spiders and became a giant creature that haunts the store and surprises customers. It says here that in 2010, a group protested about food safety, and they said that Ronald McDonald is creating a demand for high-calorie food among children, which is causing health damage. So you get rid of the clown? McDonald's is still successful today, with or without the clown, but whatever. That's not the point. Let's just look at all of these AI-generated stuff. It's actually really well done. It's terrifying. The fact that they made the whole like disposable camera effect just makes it even creepier. I actually love this kind of horror, to be honest. People started making this like AI trend of Ronald McDonald fusing with the cockroaches and the spiders that lurk throughout McDonald's. I don't know, even the original is kind of terrifying, to be honest. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, so this one's gonna be kind of like a long little spiel because like I just found this out recently. So the image itself is not really that creepy, all right? You're looking at an old-ass statue of Colonel Sanders, the mascot of KFC. Why am I putting this in there? Because this is actually deemed as a curse in Japan. Let me tell you why. I had to find this out. So, once upon a time in 1985, there was a baseball team called the Hanshin Tigers, and it's one of Japan's oldest baseball teams. In 1985, the Hanshin Tigers got their very first victory in the Japan series. The fans that were watching this just went batshit crazy, and so the way that the fans celebrated was that any fan that remotely looked like any of the players on the Hanshin Tigers baseball team would jump into the river of Osaka. It's called the Dotonbori River. However, one of the players on the Hanshin Tigers team was a white American man, and none of the fans looked remotely like a white American. So what they did instead, in order to represent the famous white American baseball player, they went to the closest KFC and stole the statue of Colonel Sanders to represent this baseball player. Like, you can look this up, guys. I'm not making this shit up. And they took the statue and threw it into the river as an effigy to honor like the baseball player and the rest of the team to celebrate their first victory back in 1985. Now, following up their big celebration and this amazing victory, for the next 18 years, the Hanshin Tigers never won a single game. And so this became kind of like a urban legend that was called the Curse of Colonel Sanders. Again, you can't make this shit up. Like, you can look it up. Like, I mean, that is wild. Like, I'm not really a very superstitious person, but you can't help but like wonder, 18 years and this baseball team didn't win a single game. So basically the legend says that the curse will only be lifted when Colonel Sanders is brought out from the river and placed back where he belongs. That's legit what the fans thought. And so this went on for a long time, and this became such a famous known curse in Japan that it was even referenced in a bunch of media. So if any of you have watched Kill la Kill, oh my god, I actually remember this scene. There is actually a Colonel Sanders in the lava. Now the reason I remember that is because I made a video going over all the Easter eggs of Kill la Kill. It was years ago in the beginning of my channel. And I remember there was a Colonel Sanders in there. I didn't know it had anything to do with this. So that is a reference to that. And apparently also in Sonic Adventure, there's a character outside of a building, didn't play the game, but apparently he references something that you shouldn't throw him or something into the river. And so that is a direct correlation with this legend as well. So anyways, 18 years, this team never won a single game. Cut to 2009. Now, divers went into the river and retrieved Colonel Sanders. It was in there the entire time. So they took it out of the river. However, the Colonel's glasses and hands were missing. And so even though they retrieved the statue, the Hanshin Tigers still were not winning a single game. So this only further perpetuated the curse to now turning into, until we retrieve Colonel Sanders' original glasses, the curse will not be lifted. So the glasses are just not going to be found at this point. It's most likely that they eroded or just like went down the river. Cut to 2023, they actually gave new glasses to the statue and they gave some new hands. And I kid you not, dead ass, it's exactly what you think. The Hanshin Tigers in 2023, last year, from the upload of this video, won their first game since 1985. Like, what, like, again, I'm not a superstitious person, but you can't help but think something's at play here. Someone's pulling someone's, like, because holy shit, like, you can't deny that the timing is impeccable. Like, you can't deny that that is a wild story and a wild turn of events. So now cut to March of 2024. So they found out that they couldn't really maintain this statue because it had been eroded so much. So what they decided to do was hold a burial ceremony at an actual Shinto shrine. Like, these fans took this shit way too seriously, and like, I kind of want to laugh, but like, I'm also just impressed and amazed at the story at the same time. Like, dude, if that isn't great marketing for KFC, like, I don't know what is. That might honestly be the reason also why Japan takes KFC so seriously, to the point that there is a time of the year where you're supposed to eat it, which is Christmas. Not joking if you didn't know that. During Christmas, it is a thing in Japan for us to go out and eat a lot of KFC. Why? I had no idea. I think it was just great marketing. But now, I'm having a feeling that it's tied to this for some reason. So, there you go. The more you know. Huh? Wow, I've never seen that at the supermarkets, dude. Okay, so this came from Japanese Twitter, and I actually saw it going viral on English Twitter as well. But this is a real photo. This isn't Photoshop. That is a legitimate shark being displayed at a supermarket. Now, I know I said that I've never seen this, but I know that's real because this is in a very specific area of Japan that's like super far. So the thing that I saw on Japanese Twitter under this photo was that everyone was not only surprised seeing a shark being sold here, but they were actually all looking at the price. So look at that. So this is the name of the shark, Aol Zame, I guess that's what it's called. And for 100 grams, you get, it's 38 yen. I don't know if anyone knows how expensive shark is. I don't eat shark and I have no interest in it. In fact, I actually think the way they kill the sharks are like beyond cruel and inhumane. But 38 yen for 100 grams is wild. So that photo went really viral on Japanese Twitter and on English Twitter. But just to prove furthermore that this is actually a thing, I went off and just typed sharks being sold at Japanese supermarkets in Japanese, and this is what I found. This is just like one out of like actually a lot of photos of sharks being sold. So just to prove that this is pretty normal up there, like this little girl doesn't look phased at all. She looks like she's more looking at the soy sauce than at the shark. A whole shark with the fins and everything, just out in the open. Okay, I know that we're calling this cursed images, but it's more like just a really sad image. Like that just makes me really, really sad. I mean, maybe it's just because like we rarely see a shark that this makes us sad, but I don't know, even just the way that the shark is displayed, just kind of flopped in there, is just, I don't know, it doesn't even look good, appetizing, or anything. It's like they didn't remotely try to make it pleasing to the eye. It's literally just a whole shark in a supermarket flopped in this really small container. Next image. Bruh, dude, that looks so cool. It's terrifying, but it looks so cool. So this is from an anime movie, I think, called The Curse of Kazuo Umezu. So I haven't seen it, but it's apparently a really short film, and it's from 1990. I feel like they just don't make anime this terrifying anymore. I know I sound super boomer for that, but like in my time, with like elfin lead, you know, with the girl's head just like fucking coming off and blood squirting everywhere and whatnot, like did people in anime studios just get super vanilla after that? Because I swear, like after that I didn't really see any anime that were like this terrifying, like this level anymore. Like they tried creating Junji Ito and like, I don't know, it was just like okay, but I don't see art going this wild anymore. And I don't know why. But yeah, it says here that it's a 43-minute film, so I'll definitely have to watch that at some point. And it features 2 atmospheric creepy tales. My anime list gave it a 6.3. It's not too bad of a score, actually. Let's look at some of the posters, actually, because I didn't actually look. Bro, like, you just don't see anime doing stuff like this anymore, like with the freaking parasite coming out of the throat, like spewing out blood and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like anime did kind of become more vanilla. I'm not sure why. Maybe people got a little bit more sensitive, but I don't know. I just kind of liked it back then where everyone would just like shut the hell up and just enjoy the anime. Like not everything was so political. It was just about enjoying the art. I have got to put that on my watch list. That shit looks amazing. Next image. So I don't really have much to say about this, but this is I don't like it. It's a wood carving of Nezuko. For some reason, next to the men's bathroom. I want to know the context behind this. I'm sure that the guy worked really hard carving this thing, but I don't like it. You know what this reminds me of? I don't know how many of you guys saw this like video that went viral on my Instagram/TikTok. It's like when I found like 2 random Shrek statues in the mountains of the Philippines. Just randomly there. Didn't know why they were there. People thought it was fake. I don't care. I will die with knowing that that was a real thing that I passed by. I have no idea why they were there. This is giving me like the same energy. I need to know, why is this here? Actually, no. This one, I believe that this is here because Japan has not moved on from Demon Slayer. Like, I swear to God, there's probably more Demon Slayer stuff here than there was Attack on Titan stuff when it was at its prime. It was a good anime, but Jesus Christ. Next image. I just wanted to kind of change the pace. Who did this? Who made this? Mac and cheese sushi? You're going to hell. Like, isn't one of the 10 commandments, thou shalt not commit murder? Why would you murder sushi like that? Actually, if I really think about it, this whole monstrosity is like an insult to me as a person. Because sushi, because I live in Japan, konnichiwa, and mac and cheese, howdy, and spam, yeah, this whole thing, this is offensive. This is offensive. I just wanted to kind of like bring it left field with that one. So yeah, with that out of the way, I'm gonna go on to our last image here. It's more controversial than anything, and you've probably noticed that none of the images so far have necessarily been cursed or really that horrifying, but you can't deny that these are all pretty interesting stories or just interesting things to find. So we'll just end it off with our last photo here. Okay, so I don't know if many of you have heard of this one, but this is from an art exhibition here in Japan, and it may not look like much, but this was a sculpture that was supposed to represent Korean women that were sold off as sex slaves or courtesans during the war to the Japanese. So this sculpture was this artist expressing just this very dark moment in history, and basically what happened was that 3 days after the museum opened up, they had to shut down because of this sculpture. 700 or so right-winged Japanese people were really infuriated at the sculpture because basically what they believe in a lot of different things, but one of the things they believe in was that the courtesans and sex slaves never happened.
先の大東亜戦争を侵略扱いする
慰安婦問題はあったとするかのごとき態度を変えておらず、
There's very little proof that it happened, and if it did happen, they believe that the courtesans were willing and that they were paid well and treated right. They also believe that the Nanking Massacre is just a conspiracy made by the Chinese. They also think that Americans overreact to the bombings of Pearl Harbor. So they really just don't like Japan put in any bad light whatsoever. And so they got really infuriated at this artist's sculpture that they started bombarding the museum over and over and over again. Now, if it's any consolation, a lot of Japanese people were really disappointed that the museum closed down only after 3 days. They thought that this artist had every right to have freedom of expression. And even the other artists that were displayed in this gallery were also outraged that the museum closed down. They thought that, hey, you know, art is all about expression. So obviously, you know, this Japanese museum was willing to display this. They knew the controversy that it would bring, but they knew it would bring a discussion and therefore bringing in people to their museum. That's all they thought about. And honestly, that's the way that I think that it should be, to bring a conversation. That's what art is supposed to do. But obviously a lot of really butthurt people didn't like it, so much so that they didn't want to see it. And that's how a lot of these really, really conservative people think, is that they just don't want Japan to be put in any bad light. And I'm just not putting that on Japan. I'm putting that like for any country, that you just get those people where it's like they don't want to have a discussion. They don't want to even give the idea that their country did horrible things, because every country has. And for some reason there's like this small group of people that think Japan has always and will always be the victim throughout history. I don't see why the small group of people couldn't just walk away. Like I'm really not getting that. Actually, if anything, those people brought more attention to this museum because of this statue, because they got it shut down. Had they not said anything, I mean, I wouldn't have known that this museum even existed. Overall, again, none of these images were really necessarily scary or cursed in any way, but you can't deny that a lot of the background stories behind them were pretty interesting, because as someone that lives in Japan, like, I didn't know like half the things that I shared in here. But hey, we all learned something new today. Like, don't fucking make mac and cheese sushi ever again. For anyone else that eats sushi like a normal person, thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!